triple double hat trick, I know the code too. Ice trade, go for trade, yeah, we cold too. Getting paper on these player haters, old news, money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold you. Money on the other line, so I'm not gonna hold. My agent just said we made 100 flat. Make it back and make it stack, this like no Steven Jack. Put my rings up in the camera like I needed that. Up in the air and at the rim is where I meet them at.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to I'm Not Gonna Hold You. We got a special free agency special today for y'all. If you watch this on Patreon, you're getting this on Sunday. If you watch this on the YouTube, you're getting this on Monday. You know I love being very clear with y'all on Barbershare. This is the second time I'm recording this because the rain in Chicago, Illinois, damn near ruined my July 4th weekend. All right, so me and Pav were recording Friday afternoon. And it just started raining. The thunder knocked out my internet for about 30 seconds. And then we got it back up. I was just going to edit it together. And I don't know if it picked up on Pavy's side, but I could hear the thunder on my mic. And I was like, no. I gotta do this over. And then my entire fence fell down. Like the entire side fell down because of the winds and the rain here. So I had to spend the rest of my afternoon trying to make sure that got put together. And so, yeah, it was a whole thing. So glad we can have Pav here before he goes on his Euro summer. But we're going to spend the next 30 minutes talking about the biggest moves that's happened so far in free agency, man. I haven't recorded any content for the YouTube in 2 weeks. I needed a little break. But I'll be having a lot of stuff dropping this week. Me and Tosa will be doing a soccer for dummies. We'll be talking about the FIFA World Cup semifinals on Wednesday. We'll be dropping that since there's no games on Wednesday. And then we'll also be talking about some of the transfer market and how Manchester City has fucked up the market for everybody, handing out $116 million deals to regular-ass midfielders. So we'll be talking about that as well. I've got some Bears content coming too. It's going to be top 10 most important Bears in 2026 because training camp begins in about 3.5 weeks, folks. It's crazy that we are right there. So anyway, Pat, how you feeling?
I'm good, man. I can't complain. It was a good July 4th. It's been a good weekend. Like you said, I'm doing Euro Summer tomorrow, so I can't complain. Well, actually later today, so I can't complain.
Wednesday. Big shout out to France, my favorite player, Kylian Mbappe.
It's my favorite.
They got all my favorite players too. Michael Olise, I love watching him play too, man. They just got all the fun players to watch, man. But anyway, let's get right into it, man. Let's start with the biggest story of the week. Mr. LeBron Raymond James has announced that he will be leaving the Los Angeles Lakers. Put out a press release. It's kind of sassy, but it was a little bit more of "I'ma quit before I get fired," or "You're not breaking up with me. I'm breaking up with you." Kind of one of them type vibes, man. But he announced that he will not be coming back. Man, my initial reaction to this was I was not really shocked because I kind of feel like this was maybe gonna happen. But I was kind of shocked on how the press release came out because it kind of comes out like he was a little bit surprised that they didn't try to do more to get in contact with him. Even though I feel like a lot of people have been saying, me included, the Lakers can't wait for LeBron to leave. And that's nothing to do with LeBron's talent, obviously. But I think it's more of a, okay, we're ready to move on with Luka and things like that, man. Just your initial reaction to him leaving the Lakers.
I mean, I think it was time. I think they both parties did it in a classy way. Like, yes, I do think the Lakers didn't want him back. I also think Bron probably saw the writing on the wall and was like, yeah, you know, it's time for me to move on, right? Like, he was a third option most of the year. Whenever you – now, granted, I like the role that he played. They won like 10, 15 straight games. But to be as somebody – but to be somebody who's been at his level for so long and then have to be third fiddle to Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves. I'm sure it was, a little bit of an ego check. So I think it was just time for both parties to part ways. And for Bron to do his last chapter somewhere else. And for the Lakers to move on and just turn the page, right? Like, I think the era was great. You won the championship, right? Like, you brought excitement back to the city. Like, I remember those Lakers games before LeBron got there. Weren't great games. Were not. I remember the Jody Meeks, Robert Sacre, that whole era of Lakers.
It's terrible.
Like, I remember it. So, like, Bron, did his thing in LA for 8 years. 8 years is a long time, man.
It is
a long time. I remember when he signed. That seems like a generation ago. Yeah. We went to his first home game
pre-COVID. Yeah, we went to his first home game against the Spurs where he missed that game winner. And I was laughing like a jackass.
Yeah.
I still got the video of how you was looking after he missed it. I got to go on my phone to find it.
Yeah, so I just think it was time for both parties to part ways.
Yeah, and you always see with great players, man, they like to leave before they kicked out. You know what I'm saying? Michael Jordan wanted to leave he didn't want to leave the Bulls, but the Bulls like, hey, man, it doesn't matter that y'all won. We're getting rid of Phil Jackson. Even though I've always said I felt like for the Bulls to break up, everybody blames Jerry Krause. I thought it was the right move. I thought even if they maybe would have made the finals in '99, maybe
they would have
got washed by the Spurs.
They got washed.
They got absolutely sent to God by the Spurs, so it don't really matter. But we seen it with Tom Brady leaving the Patriots before they were able to get rid of him, especially since they tested the market to see what it would be like when they re-signed Jimmy Garoppolo. So we've seen this with greats all the time. Now I want to talk about the Lakers side of it because there was a lot of joy from actual Laker fans. Not to say this, we know actual Laker fans. And I'm not saying that all Laker fans dislike LeBron. But this particular, if you're my age or younger, your Laker era is Kobe Bryant. Like, now, which era of Kobe? Mine is Froby. That's why I started watching Kobe. Some people are younger, so they got on it during the Kobe Powell. That's their Laker era. They were too young to remember the three-peat titles. I remember watching Kobe All-Star 98 was the first time I remember seeing Kobe, and I was like, oh, I like this guy. But there's a lot of Laker fans where there was always that Kobe-LeBron beef, not between the players, but between the fan bases. And they never really accepted LeBron. I think that a lot of it had to do with them not liking LeBron. And obviously, Kobe passing, you're a little bit more sensitive about that situation. And you got to give LeBron his credit. He resurrected the Lakers. And for the same reasons that you just named, they won 27 games before he got there. And whatever you want to say about the bubble title, he won the championship that year. Now, it's not going to be as appreciated like other COVID titles because they weren't able to celebrate it. I think it's that more than the competition or whatever. Even I don't think the Miami Heat would have made the finals if it was people in the crowds. But regardless, the Lakers were the favorite to win the title that year regardless. So, but I think the fact that we don't have like parade footage and things like that, people are going to forget a little bit. And so it's like a lot of them didn't like the stuff that comes with LeBron. There's a lot of drama that comes with LeBron. And so I feel like a lot of them are happy to not have that anymore. I personally think he'll get his jersey retired. I think he should get his jersey retired. I think a statue for the Lakers, standards is laughable. But I do believe he'll get a jersey retirement. What do you think about his Laker era, and what do you think he should get post-retirement from the Lakers?
I mean, I think he should get a jersey retired. Statue was a little strong just because it's the Lakers. I think the place he should get a statue at is Cleveland. Cleveland, the second he retires, y'all need to start working on that statue.
Not only do you need to start working on statue, it should be called LeBron James.
Literally, Cleveland's where he need a statue at.
Yeah,
and everything that you just said. But I think his Lakers era was, again, the man came in when he was 34 years old, won a ring. Like, I saw Lakers fans. I saw like one girl post like, "Oh, he only won one ring." How ungrateful can you be? You know how many franchises?
That's true, but they're the Lakers. It's like the Yankees.
Yeah, fair, but like, you know how? But even the Lakers. Granted, they wasn't what they were before the 80s.
That's true.
Like,
nobody remembers that shit.
Nobody remembers the 70s and nobody remembers that. But the man came in when he was 34. He won a ring. He brought relevance back. He made the Lakers. He made a Lakers ticket a hot ticket in town to get again. You told somebody like, yo, I'm going to a Lakers game. Everybody want to get up to go. Now, I'm not saying that they wouldn't have went before, but I do think knowing that you could go see LeBron James in a Lakers uniform added something to that, right? So, I think his Lakers era was. I mean, it's probably his worst era so far, but like the man came when he was 34 years old. He was 41. He surpassed Kareem. So like you saw great moments for LeBron as a Laker. And I think that if you are a Lakers fan or just a fan in basketball, I think you'll remember what LeBron brought to the Lakers.
Yeah, I think when you have spoiled franchises like Laker fans, or Yankee fans, you can even say Boston Red Sox fans now, which is funny because when I was a kid, they weren't. But post 2004, they've been kicking the Yankees' ass forever. So you like, oh, they only won one ring. For the rest of us, we kill for that. But for them, they look at it as,
look at the Knicks, bro. They won one ring in 50, and I think 52 years, and they've been partying. They've been partying still. Everybody I see from New York, Knicks in 5. That's like the new buy.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is. Now let's quickly talk about how the Lakers have moved on. They've got a very white Lakers squad here. This is like George Mikan era Lakers right here. I will say this about it. Rob Pelinka no longer has the LeBron blanket anymore. And Luka's not giving him a lot of time either. He's already come out this offseason and said, I want to win. I don't know how much say he's had in any of these moves. Now, that's not me saying that Luka doesn't have to get better, because he does. He's got a lot more he's got to do to be a championship caliber player. I thought he was shit in the finals 2 years ago. So he has to fix to that. But at the same time, the Lakers don't have that pull anymore where they're just, I'm staying with the Lakers just because they're the Lakers. And the Buss family don't even own the fucking team anymore. So you don't even have that love or, Genie's going to look out for you or whatever. The Buss family going to look at. They're now owned by private equity firms. You know what I'm saying? So it's a little bit more different. So I do think I don't like this team on paper. I think they got 2 years to get it together before Luka's like, I don't know, man. I might want out. What do you think about this current iteration of the Lakers going into this next season?
I think it's a very interesting roster. I think defensively you have real problems. Well, first and foremost, if Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic is your backcourt, you clearly don't plan to guard anyone in the backcourt. So I understand the signing of Walker Kessler, but Walker Kessler, if you look at his games played, I don't have it up in front of me right now, but it's like 70, 65, 55, played 5 games last year before he had shoulder surgery. Now, granted, the Jazz weren't trying to win games for real last year, but my point is he get hurt a lot. So basically binding your franchise, your big three for the next 3-4 years is going to be Walker Kessler, Austin Reeves, and Luka Doncic. God bless. In the West, I personally, I could be wrong. Who knows? Reeves might become a different player. Walker Kessler might become an all-star. Luka might, grow into a 2-time MVP or something like that. But as it looks on paper currently, that's not a championship winning roster currently as it's constructed right now.
Yeah, I agree with that. Okay. Anyway. So let's get to the next big. Well, this is not free agency, this is a trade. Jaylen Brown has been traded to the Philadelphia 76ers. A big trade. Paul George, the man who's been traded by almost everybody now, is heading to the Boston Celtics, and a couple of picks are heading Boston's way too. This to me is just, I said this on my episode of Backyard Takes. When she's done with you, she's done with you. I don't think the Boston Celtics gave a fuck about what they were going to get back compensation-wise. If you look at any sport, usually we have a really good player or a great player, you don't want to trade them in the same league or the same conference. In baseball, if you're in the American League, we're going to make sure they go to the National League. You know what I'm saying? NFL, if you're the AFC, make sure they go to NFC. But if you get traded, not only same conference, but same division, and I know NBA divisions don't mean as much as baseball and football and hockey, but still, it's basically like, fuck off. We don't care what happens. So from the Boston perspective, I feel them, but I think it's a dumb trade. Paul George never stays healthy, and I don't remember the last time Paul George did anything of note on any of his teams. And I like Paul George, and I just think this is also a ticking time bomb for Jason Tatum. You know, we're in a world right now where contracts don't really matter. It's about, can you make sure your star player is happy? And I think these next 2 years is where we're going to really see if he wants to be a long-term Celtic. But for Philly, for Jaylen Brown, I love it because this is an Embiid-proof trade. You no longer have to worry about whether Embiid stays healthy or not. Newsflash, he's not. It's really just an addition. Oh, if he plays, it's a cherry on top. But now you've got a big three of Jaylen Brown, of Tyrese Maxey, of VJ Edgecombe. I think they're going to do really good this season. And I know Jalen said it took a while to get used to, and it was actually funny that he said he went up to the facility and, his key card went off. But I think it's good for Philly. I think it's good for Jalen. What do you think about this trade from both sides?
First time when it first came through my phone, I was like, "What the fuck?" That was my first reaction, and then I'm happy we're recording the pod now. When I got some time to think about it, because I don't hate it as much. I do think that Boston just wanted to get rid of that man. I don't know what he was saying to people behind the scenes, but clearly, whatever he was saying to people behind the scenes, they was like, "Get out." And granted, I do think they I hate some of the rhetoric that's came out about him afterwards. I can understand it from certain angles. The fact that it's Boston, I know you put a racial overtone over it, but again, the man did go on a stream and say this was my favorite season after losing a 3-1 lead in the first round, while your co-star
not the season he won injury.
Not the season you won Finals MVP,
Eastern Conference Finals MVP in the championship.
The season that you got to hold a rock the whole year was your favorite season. It's a wild thing to say. Yeah. You said that on your stream. That is a wild thing to say. And I do think that, we've seen it before. Like, we've seen Stephon Marbury, KG. Steph wanted to do his own thing, get his own team. Kyrie, he wanted to do his own thing, Kobe wanted to do his own thing, have his own team. So we've seen these things before. And I do think Jaylen Brown has been disrespected. Like, in every single trade talk, it's always been Jaylen. It ain't never been Tatum. They ain't never said Tatum name. Kawhi, they ain't say Tatum name. AD, they ain't say Tatum name. KD, they ain't say Tatum name. It's always been Jaylen Brown every single time. So I can understand why he felt the way that he felt about everything. But I think for the Celtics, right, like, now it's showing proof for Jason Tatum. We'll see. Like if Tatum is who the organization thinks he is and who we think he is, we'll see. Because you did great. I know Paul George isn't 2018 Paul George anymore. He's probably going to play 55, 60 games if you're lucky, right? Tatum is also coming off a catastrophic injury, and he also didn't play Game 7. Like, the man was so hurt he couldn't play in a Game 7.
He couldn't play Game 7, and then also with the full season, there's going to be more of the KD thing where he's going to be missing games, knee soreness, things like that.
Yeah, so we will see. But if he is who we think he is, and he can have a healthy season, they should still be a top 4 seed in the East. Granted, I think that you probably took a step back if this is all you're going to do. They do still have the trade exception. I think it's like $25 million, something like that. So they still can make more moves. But if this is all you're going to do, you definitely took a step back in the East when you look at some of the other teams that we would assume took a step forward. From the Philly perspective, the first thing I thought was I love the trade. The second thing I thought was that's a lot of people trying to shoot the basketball, bro.
Yeah,
they got a lot of people trying to shoot the basketball, bro. Because when big fella, granted, I know Embiid not gonna play 82 games, but when big fella
he does play,
he need that 20 shots. Maxey just averaged 30 last season. Yeah. VJ Edgecombe, like, I'm a young up and coming player. If I take a step back, that actually affects the money I'm gonna get in 3 years. And also, I think Maxey, Brown, and Embiid contract all is 3 years. So basically, in 3 years, all of them can go somewhere else and do something different. So I love the trade, but I can't say I don't like the trade for Philly. I'm just saying that's a lot of people trying to shoot the rock.
I think it's going to take a great coach to figure it out. And I like Nick Nurse. I don't consider him a great coach. Also, but he's going to have to really figure out how to make this work.
Also, if Brown's thing was like, yo, I want my own team, are we sure this is your own team? Like, are we really sure this is your own team?
I don't care how injured he is. It's Joel Embiid's
team. When big fella is there, I'm posting on the block.
Yeah.
Give me the rock, bro. Like, if I put my hand up, I need to peel. So I think
that, and don't forget, they probably going to have a sit down. He kept calling that nigga a flop on his
did
stream
do that. He did it
for
on
weeks.
Yeah, he did do that. And they just signed Anthony Simons, all-time jacker. So like they got a lot of people. They have a lot of people that want to shoot the basketball. So I do think the potential, like the upside, is very high, but the downside is, bro, it's a lot of people trying to shoot that basketball over there in Philly right now. But I will say this: if that's the trade, if you have that lined up, you have to make the trade if you're Philly.
Yeah, and especially when they weren't searching for it. Philly's general manager said Boston came to them. And originally Boston asked for VJ Edgecombe and like a couple picks, and Philly was like, "Get the fuck out of here." And Boston was like, "Oh, okay, well, we'll just take this." So they didn't have no hand in this discussion. They were just like, "Hey, we'll just let this happen." I agree with that. I don't know if, and I like Nick Nurse. I think it's going to take, I would have more confidence if it was a better coach there. You know what I'm saying? Like, if it's somebody like a Spo or somebody like a Steve Kerr, I feel like they can work that because they've been around big egos before and they know how to work, which is the number one thing about coaching, which is why, as great as Greg Popovich is, I still think Phil Jackson is better. One, I'm biased, obviously, Bulls fan, but because you know how hard it is to manage the egos of Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen, Dennis Rodman, Shaquille O'Neal, Kobe Bryant, and his own damn ego. Let's not forget about that. Phil got an ego. That's why he's my GOAT coach. But I wanted to say this LeBron part for the end of this because it involves Philly. The reasons you just named is why I don't think LeBron's a good match for Philly. Because now you had another nigga that need the ball.
I don't think it's a good match for Philly because that is an all-time nasty jersey. That might be number one in the nasty jersey Hall of Fame, bro.
So like out of all LeBron's options, which one isn't a nasty jersey? Because Minnesota's the nastiest out of all of them.
Oh, if I see Wolves James, that's the nastiest jersey I've ever seen in my life, bro. Ever. Like that would be something where like in 50 years, if you look on MitchellandS.com and they have that jersey, be like, yo, what? This
that's like the Patrick Ewing Orlando Magic jersey.
Yeah, literally. No, yeah, literally. Or the Patrick Ewing Seattle
Hakeem Olajuwon Raptors.
Literally, like all-time nasty jersey shit that shouldn't have happened. I remember playing NBA Live with Hakeem Olajuwon on the Raptors. Shouldn't have happened. I think the only two destinations for LeBron are nasty. Melo Portland was solid.
Melo Portland was nasty though.
No, Melo. No,
he's coming off the bench.
No, he started in Portland.
He started in Portland.
He came off the bench for the Lakers. Melo Thunder is nasty.
I forgot he was on the Lakers. Okay, that's a nasty jersey.
Yeah. That's a nasty jersey. That and Thunder. Portland, I'm not even mad at. But I think for Bron, Warriors and Cavs, right? Like even I don't think Cleveland makes basketball sense, but obviously it makes like life sense, right? Like you want to end your career where it started. You're from Akron. We just saw the man partying in Akron on Instagram 2 days ago, right? So you want to be home. Like you can't fault a man for wanting to go home. And then Golden State, just because like I saw the Olympics. It was a really fun watch, bro. Like, do I think they would win? No, but I do think it would be television basketball every time they take the court. Just knowing that Steph, Bron, Draymond, all those guys are kind of on their way out together with each other. I think it would be just great television. So those are the only two destinations that I think wouldn't be a nasty jersey. Anywhere else, nasty.
Now, Vegas isn't the end all be all, but Vegas right now has 61%. Him going back to Cleveland. I personally don't want to see him in Cleveland. I mean, I don't really want to. I want to see that nigga on the golf course. That's what I want to see. But I don't think he can't be looking at any of these situations saying I'm trying to win a championship because I don't think him in any of these situations leads to a championship. I really don't.
You can talk yourself into Golden State only because right, you got old superstars.
That requires everybody being healthy.
You're right, but they can still play basketball, right? We saw what happened 2024. Cleveland, it's just like they have other issues that don't even line up to basketball, right? Like Evan Mobley is not who we think he is. Donovan Mitchell, in my personal opinion, is not who we think he is. James Harden, I saw him get picked on fucking 10 straight possessions.
And he's looking for a big contract.
And like it's just like they have other issues.
This sounds like it's disrespectful to Donovan Mitchell, and maybe it probably is. But Donovan Mitchell is D-Wade if D-Wade didn't have talent. That's how I look at Donovan Mitchell. Like
he's a smaller D-Wade.
Yeah, D-Wade was bad.
If
D-Wade wasn't a Hall of Famer, he'd be Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah, literally. So, if D-Wade was just a really good player, he'd be Donovan Mitchell.
Gun to head, where do you think he ends up?
I'm going to say Cleveland.
Okay, I'm gonna say Golden State only because he said it's about happiness. Draymond didn't opt out for nothing, and three, Rich Paul saying this might take a couple weeks. AKA, I think the Warriors need to trade Porzingis, they need to trade Jimmy. So I think that would probably be what I say, but it's gonna be either that or Cleveland, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Miami, I'm not even.
Yeah, that is also nasty basketball.
Yeah.
You want Giannis and Bam and LeBron to be in the front court? No, we're not doing this.
I think that
nobody shoots fucking 30% from the field at all. What are we doing?
I want to spend these last 10 minutes playing a game of like it, love it, or hate it. So I've got 5 trade / free agent moves that have happened, and I want you to tell me whether you like it, love it, or hate it, and why. I'm gonna start off with one Kawhi Leonard going back to Toronto Raptors. Like it, love it, or hate it.
Love it. Kawhi's coming off probably his best season as a pro, to be honest with you. Like, it's funny to say, but literally last season was probably his best regular season as a pro. You traded him for Brandon Ingram. Brandon Ingram, we saw the playoffs. Brandon Ingram wasn't good to the point. Then he also got hurt. And they still went to 7 with the Cleveland Cavaliers, who we can say what they want to say, but they still went to the conference finals. So you put Kawhi Leonard on this team, if you can manage him, right? I think it's still the same training staff that managed him before. So if you can manage him and get him to the finish line, and you put him with Scotty Barnes, Colin Murray Boyles, that is a terrorizing defensive front lineup. So I love it.
Yeah, I'm with you. I love it. One, they didn't have to give up a lot. And I'm gonna be real. I love it for Brandon Ingram too. That nigga gets to go back to LA. So if you ain't gonna win, at least go back to Los Angeles.
Glorilla would rather be in LA during the winter than in Toronto during the winter. And I think Toronto is a great city, but not in the winter.
Not in the winter. I love it for Kawhi. I love it for Toronto. I do think this has a little bit to do with the fact they can stop talking about the little situation that Pablo Torre won't live alone and over there.
Pablo got to stop, bro. Pablo got to brother, relax, bro.
I feel like he's doing a lot, but then again, I feel like a lot of people be thinking I'm anti-journalist, but at the end of the day,
he doing it's like some police like activity going on, like, brother.
Yeah, relax. I think, and this is like a side note, but it's true. I do believe there needs to have journalism. There should be a space for content creators, media personalities, and journalism. But sometimes we do a lot. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like in this particular situation, it's like with the Chris Johnson thing. Chris Johnson just got ALS. Prayers up to him and his family. Dan Levitar and Jeff Pearlman were up there like, well, Michael Strahan should have asked him about how football may have caused this. The man is speaking through a box. That's something we can talk about later, bro.
Yeah.
So I do believe some stuff just be going a little bit too far. So, but I do like it for Kawhi. I think for Kawhi and Toronto, you don't lose much. They already know how to load manage him. They load managed him 7 years ago. And I believe, with Scotty Barnes, they'll be able to do it. So I like the move. Giannis to Miami. Like it, love it, or hate it.
I love it. If you're Miami, right, like, you've basically been a play-in team the entire, like, really, honestly, for the past, I don't even know how many years, like 6 years. Even when you went to the finals, you were still the AC. You actually were a play-in team when you went to the finals, when you played Denver. So, like, I love it for Miami. You finally have a star again. That's what Pat Riley has done since he's been in Miami, right? Like, you look at Alonzo Mourning got there, Tim Hardaway got there, Braun got there, Shaq got there, Chris Bosh got there. That's what Jimmy got there. So that's what they've done historically. That's what Pat Riley has done with this franchise. And I think, like, again, defensively, if you got Davion Mitchell leading at point guard, and then you have Giannis and Bam behind that, and you also have Wiggins, I think, granted, now they got to get some other pieces. They got to get some shooting. I think the bench is going to be very interesting. But defensively, you should be top 5 in the league. I mean, Bam is deep.
Yeah, like, everybody's talking about how they gonna score. Who gonna score on them?
We don't have to score 120 if you can't. So,
right.
So if we can, and again, we can say what we want to say about Bam. The man did score 83 points last year. So I think the man knows how to score the basketball. And Giannis, obviously, when he's there and when he's healthy, which is a thing, when he's there and when he's healthy, he gives you 30 points a night. So I love it for Miami.
I'm gonna say I like it. I'm actually real indifferent to anything involving Giannis right now, but I'm gonna say I like it because if you're Miami, you haven't had a star since D Wade left, and a mega star since LeBron has left. You have to take it. Pat Riley has been striking out on free agents and big time guys for years now. So I feel like this is his last attempt. So I like it from that perspective. It's the East. When you have a superstar, it gives yourself a fighting chance. So from that perspective, I like it. LaMelo Ball to Minnesota. Like it, love it, or hate it.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I love this one too. Like I love it. Like granted, we have to get LaMelo to stop being a fucking my player. If he can just play actual NBA, if he can play
Yeah.
actual NBA winning basketball, like the one thing that the Timberwolves have needed for the longest was a point guard, right? Like I think when you get Mike Conley, I love Mike Conley, but Mike Conley older than me, and he's still playing basketball. So obviously, Mike Conley got drafted when I was a sophomore in high school. That's how old Mike Conley is, and he's still playing in the league. So Mike Conley just
Yeah,
wasn't giving
Mike
you,
Conley is my age. It just
yeah. So
really just
like
aged me.
yeah, so like Mike Conley wasn't giving you what you needed to give him. And I know like and I was saying like, yo, Ant needs to step up his playmaking. Well, he don't need to do that now, right? You got LaMelo Ball next to you. You're not gonna double Ant if LaMelo is in the backcourt. You're not doing that. You're not just gonna give LaMelo free looks at the rim. You're not doing that. Also, I think Ant has the ability to be a primetime defender, and I think that this trade should open up his energy to be that. And I think that he needs to be that. Like he needs to be a all defensive level player for this team to be great and to do the things that he wants them to do. And so I love it. Like, right, you get Io back. I saw what Io did in the postseason last year when we watched the game when Ant got hurt and Io somehow scored 44 points and was great the rest of the series. Zayden McDaniels, he can like step up. You got rid of Randall. You still have Rudy Gobert, who has consistently been one of the best defenders in the league over the past decade. So I love it. Again, they have to make Ant play actual NBA basketball, but if they can figure out how to do that, I love it.
Yeah, I love it too. I think LaMelo, as much as he is a my player, I do believe he showed a little bit of maturity last year on the Hornets. You know, they had a very entertaining playing game, and I love it from the perspective of A Rod and I forgot his partner's name, but I think it's Jeff Lurie. Them making aggressive moves and saying, you know, we're not going to be the old Minnesota Timberwolves who didn't give KG any help. You know what I'm saying? We're going to actually try to go out there and try to win. Um, I think it was a fair price. And when you're a team like Minnesota, when you're in a smaller market, every opportunity you get
You gotta
to
take it.
get a star, you got to take it. I don't care what the price was. Like, even when they spent all that to get Rudy Gobert, and I was one of the people who killed them, you got to get it. And at the end of the day, draft picks, whatever, does not matter if you can win. You think Knicks fans care about the 5 first rounders they give up for Cal Bridges?
Here's the thing about draft picks. You still have to draft good players.
That too.
People
That
like
too.
60 people get drafted every year. It's not 60 all-stars that make the
Yeah,
all-star game. It'd be like
exactly.
5. So you still have to draft good players with draft picks. I think people like the thought process and the excitement about draft picks, but you got to realize you still have to draft good players.
And I think that's with any sport. Like
Any
any
sport.
sport, people, there's two things. It's me I have two brains. I have sports media brain and I have fan brain. My fan brain does not care about two things: money spent and draft picks or young players. I don't care. I want to win depending on what the situation is. Like if you're rebuilding, that's different. But when it's time to win, you got to do what you got to do. I don't think the Rams care about any of them
They
draft
don't
picks
give
they
a
didn't
fuck.
trade over the last
They
5
won.
years. They
They
won in
don't give a fuck. They won.
2022, and they're not finna lose sleep over the draft picks they traded for Myles Garrett. You got to do what you got to do. And also, Anthony Davis, we keep talking to Anthony Davis, Anthony Edwards. We keep talking about stars leaving. There's another 2-year clock right here. He wants to win. So at least give him a guy. And I think with Anthony Edwards, with Jay McDaniels, these guys have been to the conference finals twice out of the last 3 years. And they were very hurt this year. And I still think they gave the Spurs a good fight. So they have a somewhat standard of basketball they need to play. And as much as Ant messes around, Ant's still a competitor. I don't think they're gonna allow, like, the jokes here, the YN jokes is funny, but I don't think it's gonna be nothing that's gonna stop them from winning. I do like their coach too. So I think it'll be a good enough environment for LaMelo to, you know what I'm saying, develop and become a better player. And they play in Minnesota, bro. It's not like there's a nightlife there. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Hey man, you can find a way to get this to some shit anyway.
of course, you're rich. You can get
Find
into
a
it
way.
anywhere. But
Find a way.
it's not like they trade him to the Lakers. Now that's a different beast. You know what I'm saying? So I love it. Ja to Portland, like, love, or hate it?
I like it, I guess.
I'm gonna add the Mike Tomlin option. We do not care.
like granted, one thing I do know that. So I've heard this a few times from a few different people that knew that Ja was going to Portland because of Nike. Like his shoe is selling so good. Nike is like, you can't fuck.
Yeah,
this
I was
up.
told that by very important sources.
Yeah,
you know
like
who that source is.
yeah, like I've heard that from like 4 different people just being out and about. It's like they knew already like Ja's going to Portland because you can't fuck this up because your shoe is too well. So hopefully, I mean, the main thing about Ja Morant isn't even his off the court activity. It's the fact he ain't played basketball in 4 years.
Yes.
Like he's played 79 games in 3 years. I promise you, if he was still scoring 30 points, you could hold all the guns you want to hold. Just score the goddamn 30 points. We'll figure out a way to do. The problem with him is he hasn't played basketball. So if he can get on the court and play actual NBA basketball, granted, I have no idea what Portland thinks they're doing at all.
Portland just doing shit. They gave their coach a 1-year deal.
If Dame and Ja is your backcourt, you don't plan to play no defense. Donovan Cleveland, you better make defensive player of the year. That's what you need to be if y'all plan to win 45 games, because y'all don't plan to play no defense. So I have no idea what they're doing, but I hope the man can just get his career back because, again, when he was on the court and healthy, he was a great watch in the league. So I hope he can just get his career back on track and actually just play actual NBA basketball.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I know this is not an option, but I literally do not care about this. Like, I don't know what Portland's doing. I hope Ja just plays like you. They gave their new coach a 1-year deal, which is asinine. But hey, whatever, man. Final topic. Bulls rebuild. So far, they hired Bryson Graham as their vice president. He has hired Tiago Splitter as their head coach. They have drafted Caleb Wilson with their first draft pick, and they signed Norman Powell to a very good team-friendly deal. So it's a 2-year deal, $45 million, but the second year is a team option, and it sets them up to flip him at the deadline to get more trades. Like it, love it, or hate it, Bulls rebuild so far.
Love it. But I told you this even when they finally made the trades last year, right? Like you got Josh Giddey, you have Norman Powell, you have Caleb Wilson, you have Nick Claxton. Don't forget Nick Claxton.
Yeah, Nick Claxton. I like that one too.
Nick Claxton, Booz Ellis. You also have the guy from France, Noah. I forget his name, but like I can't pronounce his last name. But
he might get cut. The way that BG was talking about him and Tiago was like, he's here.
Whatever. That's funny. Well, still, like, right. You have a really good first 5. I think you can play fast. You can be fun. So I love it. Like, I think if Caleb Wilson didn't break his wrist and he would have been able to play in the tournament,
100%,
he probably would have went higher in the draft.
Yeah.
So to get him at 4, right? Well, I think potentially he has the most upside out of all these guys. Like, if you just watch Caleb Wilson's highlights, it looked like he the greatest player that ever played the game.
They do.
If you watch the North Carolina highlights, it's crazy. So I like what they're doing. I think the Bulls finally have a young, fun team. I think they probably have the most promise that they've had since the Derrick Rose years or early D Rose years. So I love it. I love what the Bulls are doing. They finally did what they should have done.
I'm going to give a double love, and this is why. Because both Reinsdorf franchises, I lifted my 3.5-year boycott.
They're both playing good.
They're letting the basketball and the baseball people do their jobs. And with the White Sox, there's succession plans. There's a new owner, a billionaire owner coming in within the next 2 years or whenever redacted happens. Anyway, by 2030 at the latest, there will be a new owner of the White Sox. And they're out here tearing it up. So I'm lifting it for both. But what I love about it with the Bulls is, and I low-key think there's a succession plan for the Bulls because I don't know if you saw the Walmart people.
Yeah, the Walmart people,
bought stock, and that was the Bulls with the United Center. And I know enough about sports business to say eventually they're going to be like, we want more of that.
Yeah.
So, but I love what they're doing so far. I love that Brandon Graham not Brandon Graham, Brian Graham. And I done messed this man's name up by phone. Bryson Graham. I apologize, black man. Has come on the radio. He's talked more than AK ever did. He's actually going back to back with these radio hosts. They were on Waddle and Sylvia a couple days ago. And Sylvia was going at him like, you're getting rid of second round draft picks. And he's explaining to him. AK would never do that. Billy Donovan never did that. And I think Caleb Wilson, now I don't watch a lot of college basketball, but I knew enough to what he was doing. And if you look at other pros, current and legends, I listen to how they talk about these players, and they're completely sold on this kid. When I saw Draymond sing his praises, and Draymond don't sing nobody praises, I was like, yeah. And I love his attitude, and I just think that everybody's like, oh, what's the point of getting Norman Powell? You need to win 30 games. You need less than 30 games. Not with these new lottery rules. They're making you compete. And so as long as it's a fun team, and you can flip guys, I love it. And he's the most exciting draft pick we've had since D Rose. Like, we haven't even had a pick as high since D Rose. You know what I'm saying? And I also love D Rose been around the team. He was at the United Center and the Advocate Center this weekend, practicing with the guys.
I saw that.
I think he's like the new team ambassador or something.
Great,
like that.
Great. Like, they're finally doing things right. Like, D Rose is a guy you should. Like, D Rose is a guy, like, he's from Chicago. He gave you your best years since. He gave you your best non-Michael Jordan years in franchise history. Like, we've had this conversation many times about the Bulls franchise history. Yeah. He gave you your best non-Michael Jordan years.
Which Pat was right about, by the way. It took me 6 years to admit it, but he was right.
That is a guy that you should bring into your franchise to help. Yeah. And again, he's a legend of these kids. Like, I think Caleb Wilson, granted, he could have been lying, but I think Caleb Wilson even said, like, yo, they grew up watching D Rose.
Yeah, right? He got like, a picture of him with his Bull stuff on when he was a kid.
D Rose to them is what Penny Hardaway was to us.
Yeah.
Right? Like, people, yo, Penny, like, I grew up with the
Penny could have been Kobe.
Yeah, like they grew up with D Rose. So like, he is a guy, especially if he lives back home, he's embracing the city. You should bring him in for your franchise and let him lead the way for the youth.
And I'm actually gonna watch some summer league games and shit. Because you got a summer league squad.
I'm probably not, because they gonna come on at outrageous times, but I will see highlights.
Oh yeah, because you're gonna be out the country. Yeah. I'm about to say I like Vegas on the same timeline, but I forgot to do that. Anyway, that's all we got for y'all today on this edition of I'm Not Gonna Hold You, Pat. Thank you for joining us. Anything you want to plug before we get up out of here?
Yeah, man. New music coming in about 2 weeks, I want to say. Music out right now. Go check all that out. New album coming at some point in time. We'll see. But for right now, y'all can get these singles. And Hoops and Brews still going, all of that. And talk to you guys. Appreciate you.
Definitely, man. Subscribe to the channel. Road to 1,000 subscribers. We're like 809 right now, so let's get that up. Like I said, got a lot of content coming. New Soccer for Dummies dropping this week. We're gonna have some Bears content come before training camp starts in a couple weeks, and I will have an announcement about training camp because I won't be able to go to every practice like I've been doing the last 4 years. I'll be going to at least 3 practices out the week, so. Won't be an everyday thing. So, but I'll let y'all know about that closer to it. Anyway, follow Pav at Pavy World. Follow me at Barbchair Scott. And we gonna holler at y'all. We about